The desert does not forgive weakness. Under a burning Egyptian sun, a man ran across endless sand, his breath ragged, his heart tearing itself apart in his chest. Behind him echoed gunfire and cruel laughter. Blood soaked into his shoes. His vision blurred. Marc Spector fell to his knees. The world tilted. The sky burned white. His pursuers slowed, watching as life drained from his eyes. Marc collapsed beside an ancient stone statue, half buried in the sand, its surface carved with the image of a skull-headed god crowned by a crescent moon. Khonshu. As Marc's pulse faded, the desert went silent. Then a voice spoke, not aloud but inside his shattered soul. Rise. Chapter 1. A broken childhood. Marc Spector's life was broken long before the desert. He was born in Chicago, the son of a gentle rabbi and a grieving mother. Marc had a younger brother, Randall, a curious boy who followed Marc everywhere. One rainy afternoon, against their parents' warnings, the brothers explored a nearby cave. Only one came out alive. Randall drowned in rising floodwaters. Marc survived. His mother never forgave him. She blamed Marc for Randall's death, and her grief turned into cruelty. Words became blows. Silence became punishment. His father, kind but weak, did nothing. Marc learned early that pain was something you endured alone. To survive. His mind began to fracture. Chapter 2. The first split, when the abuse became unbearable. Marc created someone else. Someone soft. Someone hopeful. Someone who could smile when Marc could not. His name was Stephen Grant. Stephen loved movies, museums, and stories of adventure. Stephen believed the world was kind. Stephen took the pain so Marc wouldn't have to. As Marc grew into adulthood, he ran from his home, from his past, from himself. He joined the military, becoming a Marine. Violence gave him clarity. Orders gave him purpose, but war only sharpened the cracks inside him. Chapter 3. The mercenary. After leaving the military, Marc became a mercenary. He fought for money, not ideals. It was easier to kill strangers than face memories. On a job in Egypt, Marc worked alongside a ruthless partner named Bushman. Together they were hired to guide an archaeological expedition led by a woman named Layla El-Fawli and her father. Marc fell in love with Layla. For a moment, he believed redemption was possible. Then Bushman betrayed them. He murdered Layla's father and executed the archaeologists, stealing ancient artifacts for himself. Marc tried to stop him and was shot. Left bleeding in the desert, Bushman walked away. Marc crawled. Chapter 4. Khonshu's bargain. Dying, Marc dragged himself into a ruined temple. He collapsed before the statue of Khonshu. As his blood soaked the sand, the moon rose overhead. Khonshu appeared not as flesh, but as a towering presence of bone, shadow, and ancient wrath. You are broken, the god said, but you are useful. Khonshu offered Marc a deal. Serve as his avatar. Deliver vengeance upon the wicked. Become the Fist of Khonshu. In return, Marc would live. Marc accepted. The moonlight wrapped around him. His wounds healed. White cloth formed armor around his body. A crescent blade burned across his chest. Marc Spector died that night. Moon Knight was born. Chapter 5. The mask of the moon. Marc returned to the world changed. At night, under the moon, he became Moon Knight, brutal, relentless, terrifying. He punished criminals without mercy, driven by Khonshu's whispers. By day, Stephen Grant began to surface more often. Stephen believed he worked at a museum gift shop in London. He spoke politely, fed a goldfish, and avoided conflict. He had no memory of the violence. Another identity emerged too. Jake Lockley, a hard-edged streetwise man who knew the city's underbelly and spoke to criminals in their own language. Marc didn't realize it at first, but he was never alone in his body. Chapter 6. A war inside the mind. As Moon Knight's enemies grew more dangerous, the strain on Marc's mind intensified. Stephen would wake up in strange places. Jake would take control without warning. Marc would lose time, hours, days. Mirrors became enemies. Sometimes the reflection smiled back when Marc didn't. Khonshu demanded more blood, more punishment. The god cared nothing for Marc's sanity, only justice as he defined it. Marc began to question whether he was serving justice or madness. Chapter 7. Love and lies. Marc reunited with Layla, now a skilled adventurer in her own right. He loved her deeply, but he lied to her constantly. She noticed the changes. The missing time. The bruises. Eventually, the truth shattered their marriage. Marc pushed her away, believing his curse would destroy her too. Loneliness returned, and with it darkness. Chapter 8. The enemy of balance, a man named Arthur Harrow, rose to power, once an avatar of Khonshu, now serving another ancient god who believed judgment should come before sin, not after. Harrow believed suffering could be prevented by killing those who might commit evil. Khonshu believed punishment must come after. Caught between gods, Marc became the battlefield. Harrow exposed Marc's fractured mind, trapping him in an illusion of a mental institution. Doctors told him Moon Knight was a fantasy. Khonshu was a delusion. Marc almost believed it. Chapter 9. The truth of the mind inside the illusion. Marc confronted Steven. Not as an enemy, but as a shield. Steven was not weak, he was survival. He was the part of Marc that endured abuse, found joy, and kept hope alive. Marc accepted him. When Steven sacrificed himself to protect Marc in the afterlife, Marc finally understood love for himself. Balance was restored. Chapter 10. Death and judgment. Marc died again. In the Egyptian afterlife. His heart was weighed against a feather of truth. It did not balance. Too much guilt. Too much blood. Marc refused paradise. He chose to return. Khonshu was freed. Harrow was defeated. Layla became a temporary avatar, herself proving Marc was not alone anymore. Epilogue. The knight who walks at night. Marc Spector still walks the streets. Sometimes he is Marc. Sometimes Steven. Sometimes Jake. Under the moon, he becomes Moon Knight, protector of travelers, hunter of monsters, guardian of those forgotten by gods and men. He is not a hero bathed in sunlight. He is not a symbol of hope. He is vengeance. He is broken. He is necessary. And as long as the moon rises, Moon Knight will answer.